It is getting late and almost time for bed. I thought I would make a little video tonight on POTS and sleeping because about 30% of people who have POTS have sleep disturbances similar to that of people who have insomnia. So it can be a big deal. Us POTSies need to really focus on our rest because we already feel so fatigued. And not getting rest can compound our fatigue, and it can also lessen our quality of life. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks today, things that I have learned and sort of learned the hard way that help me get a good night rest and have a good day. So hi, I'm Lowry. I'm the Pretty POTSie, and this is POTS and Sleep. One of the things that I recommend if you have POTS is to try to get exercise. It can be difficult if you're not feeling well. Some people who have POTS have a hard time standing up without passing out. So do what you can, but it's very important to try to get as much movement and as much exercise as you can during the day. And it's sort of obvious why, because the more movement and the more exercise we get, the better we're going to sleep at night, the more tired out we can make our bodies. One of the things that I noticed with my sleep, before I really paid attention to things that I could do to help, I would wake up repeatedly in the night. And I believe that's due to my heart rate not being regulated properly. And that's part of our dysautonomia, the heart rate. And so I would wake up suddenly with my heart just beating for no reason. And POTSies actually get less stage 2 duration than most people. And I believe that some of that is due to our dysautonomia. So that irregular heartbeat can disturb our sleep and cause us not to get as restful, as deep sleep as others who don't have POTS. Another thing that POTSies can contend with is extra sweating. So I think it's important to make sure your room is cool, you have on a fan, you have the air conditioner, don't have it too cold. If you're like me, your dysautonomia causes temperature deregulation, and so you're either hot or cold, cold or hot. It doesn't take much to fluctuate, but you're going to sleep better in a cooler environment, and you can always have a blanket to put over you, but being cool is going to help. And you don't want to sweat too much, because when you sweat, you're losing precious sodium that you've spent all day trying to build up in your body to build your blood volume. So anything you can do to cool yourself off can really help. The other thing, and I had to think about it, it's been a long day, so I am feeling a little bit POTSy today, but this message was important and I really wanted to make this video, so bear with me. Another thing that has to do with your dysautonomia is your blood pressure. And when you are laying flat, supine, for a long time during your sleep, your body lowers your blood pressure because it's not necessary to have higher blood pressure when you're supine. So I feel at the worst when my blood pressure is low. And a lot of times when I wake up in the morning, my blood pressure is really low. And a lot of POTSies find they feel at their worst right in the morning when they wake up. So I believe that is part of that. Part of the reason why is because our blood pressure is lowered even more when we're laying down. There are different subtypes of POTS, and so some people have high blood pressure, some people have low blood pressure. Some POTSies have blood pressure that just goes off the charts up and down, and it doesn't stay regulated. But either way, when you lay down to sleep for a long period of time, your blood pressure can go down, and so that can cause more symptoms in the morning. Something that I recommend, I always have by my bed, is a glass of soul water. And I will put a link right here to my video on how to make soul water, but it's essentially just salt, sea salt particularly, Himalayan pink sea salt is what I use. And it's a solution where it's dissolved in water, and then you put a little bit of that in a big glass of water. So I leave that on my nightstand. And every morning I drink the whole cup before I get out of bed. That can help with your blood pressure. that can also help you with your sodium and fluids, sorry. And then another thing I have every morning after I have my soul water, I sit up and I put on my compression socks. So this is a really cute pair from Pro Compression, my new summer spring pair. And these are ready to go when I wake up in the morning. So if you'll put these on before you even stand up, you can help your blood vessels support, you can help support your blood vessels and keep that blood up and help your blood pressure stay higher and start your day a little bit better. Okay, and something else that I wanted to talk about is caffeine and coffee. I only have 1 cup of coffee a day, but I can't live without that 1 cup of coffee because it actually raises your blood pressure a little bit. It constricts your blood vessels, so it works as a vasoconstrictor, and it can help with your POTS symptoms. So 1 cup, don't have more than 1 because it's going to raise your heart rate more and make you feel worse. So find your happy medium. Some POTSies can't have caffeine at all, but I find that it gives me just a little bit of energy boost in the morning. Do not have it after noon, because if you have that caffeine too late, it's going to impede you getting a good night's rest, which is the whole point of this video. So 1 cup of coffee. Having lots of fluids during the day is going to help you as well. The more hydrated you are, the higher your blood volume, as long as you've had your sodium with your water and your electrolytes. And the more blood volume you have, the better you're going to feel when you wake up. I also recommend a weighted blanket. I couldn't use it right now. Here in Arizona is already over 100 degrees and it is hot. So a weighted blanket is not my friend right now. But during the year when it is cooler here, I love my weighted blanket. I feel like it helps calm me. It helps lower my heart rate. It helps to release anxiety, and it's just very soothing. So if you have POTS and you haven't tried a weight blanket, summer may not be the best time to try it, but try it when you can. Even try it during the day if you want to take a nap with it and see how you do. I really think it helps me get a good night's rest. And I have implemented many of the things that I'm talking about today. I fall asleep when I hit the pillow. I sleep all night now. I don't wake up, and I wake up pretty refreshed in the morning. And then I've tried my little tricks for when I wake up that help me. I do feel lightheaded right when I wake up, and I typically have head pressure, coat hanger headache. I do feel worse right when I wake up. And luckily, because of these times, social distancing, and because of COVID, we are in our homes more. I'm not having to jump out of bed and feed the kids and send them off to school. We have a little bit more relaxed pace. We can have breakfast a little bit later. And so it's enabled me to take my time before getting out of bed. And it really has helped. It really has helped me a lot. Just look at my note here. 2 more things that I'm going to recommend. While you are waking up, I recommend what I call a gradual brightening of your room. Our eyes are part of our autonomic nervous system, the functioning of our pupil. And because our eyes are closed all night, and I sleep in my eye mask, okay, so it's completely dark all night. And when we wake up, that brightness can be intense. And if our pupils don't respond accordingly, it can be painful to your eyes. So I recommend a very gradual brightening. If you are opening your blinds, just open them a little bit at a time, say over a period of 10 minutes. Don't turn on your light right away. And you can even get these, they're like wake-up lights, and they gradually get brighter. But something like that is going to help because your pupils aren't going to constrict properly with the bright light in the morning. So that's just a little tip. And then also when I first wake up, I usually check my emails and check my social media accounts and do a little bit of work from the bed while I'm getting ready to wake up, while I'm drinking my soul water. So it's really important to wear your blue light blocking glasses. And these help so much. I can't even tell you. These have been a game changer for me. They help when I'm out in public. They help with fluorescent lights, which are not my favorite. They always make me feel just ill, fluorescent lights. So put your blue light blockers on right when you wake up before you're looking at your phone or a screen. They even help with fluorescent lighting if you have fluorescent lighting in your homes. And then I continue to wear those for the rest of my day. I think the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and then I'll be ready for bed because I'm tired. All this talk about sleeping is making me tired. Let me show you this. So when I was first diagnosed with POTS, it was at the Mayo Clinic. I have an amazing neurologist there, and one of the interventions she shared with me is sleeping, oh, it's upside down, I think. Sorry, is sleeping with your head elevated 6 inches. And it's not just your head, it needs to be from your hips up. So your hips need to be higher than your feet. And there are several schools of thought on this, if it helps or not. I find it really helps. What this does is it tricks your body, and there are several benefits to this, but I think one of the biggest benefits is if you are lying on it and you want to make sure your hips are on the ramp. I call it a ramp because I think it's cuter than saying, like, what is it called? A wedge. My son calls it my cheese. I don't use it every night, but I do use it periodically. But you want to put your hips on it. So make sure you're not sliding down because it's not going to be effective. And then I just, get my pillow. Sorry. I just throw my pillow right on top of it. And it's actually pretty comfortable. This one I bought on Amazon, and it is more than 6 inches, but this one has 3 inches of like a Tempur-Pedic foam, and so it's really comfortable. The cover is completely washable, but going back to the efficacy of it, what it does is it tricks your body into thinking that you're still awake. Because if you're laying flat, your body knows you're asleep. If you have your hips elevated higher than your feet, what I find is that your body is not releasing the fluids and the sodiums that you've spent all day building up. And I can attest to it. When I use this, I don't have as much fluid output in the mornings, if you know what I mean. I actually retain more fluid and more sodium, which I work so hard to drink and eat during the day. So this sort of tricks your body into thinking that you're awake, and your body's gonna hold on to the fluids thinking that it needs them, instead of if you were asleep, your body thinks I don't need those fluids anymore, and then you're going to have, more fluid released into your bladder. And this way I believe it keeps our blood volume full. It's not the most comfortable. In fact, I had a breakdown when I first bought this, and I got it on Amazon. It was probably $60, $70. And the first night that I used it, I just felt so separated from my husband. I was just up on this hill, and it just really magnified the fact that there's something wrong with me, that I have POTS, that I have to do something like sleeping on this silly ramp, and I had like an emotional breakdown from it. So that's probably part of why I don't use it all the time, because there's a little bit of negativity tied up in it. And it's okay to cry, you guys, if you have POTS. It's hard, it's difficult. You have to let it out sometimes. So I think my body was just ready to let out my frustrations and a little bit of anger, like, why me? Let it out, and then the positivity flows right back in. So sorry to get off on a tangent about positivity, and it's okay to cry. But anyways, so my ramp, I think, helps me a lot, and especially when I'm having a flare or during the day. One really important thing to help you sleep is to try not to sleep during the day. I have eschewed naps completely. I don't ever take naps during the day. I find I sleep so much better at night if I just keep going. I probably keep going too much, hence why I get flares quite frequently. But do not take naps during the day. If you have to, I understand. Fatigue is different than feeling tired. If your body is fatigued, a nap's not going to help you. It's only going to keep you from sleeping that night and make your fatigue even worse. But if you do nap during the day, and there are some times when I have to, I just can't keep going, I will use this, and it sort of tricks my body again and that I'm not sleeping. So I just want to make sure. Oh, this is also good if you have supine hypertension. That means if your blood pressure is raised when you lay flat. This will keep you from laying all the way flat. So also if you have that, this can be good. So actually I'm probably going to use this tonight because I had a really good day today, but I feel like I might be on the verge of a flare. So I'm going to do everything I can to prepare for a good day tomorrow. I think that's it. I appreciate you coming in with me as I prepare for bed and go over what I do for my POTS. Anything you do can help. You don't have to do everything I mentioned, but hopefully you might have found a tidbit or a trick that you didn't know about, and hopefully it helps you. That's why I make these videos. That's why I do this, because I just want to help others. I really, really appreciate your support. If you want to, you can subscribe to my channel. I love making videos. I love sharing what I've learned about my POTS. It makes me feel like there's something good that can come from it. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That's it. Have sweet dreams, everyone. Thank you so much. That's it. I have an Instagram account at the Pretty POTSie. I have a Facebook group, the Pretty POTSie. So feel free to check those out. And if you need more information on POTS, what POTS is, I have plenty of other videos that describe what POTS is and other things that you can do to help your POTS. I have a video on POTS and showering. I plan on making many more. So stay tuned and follow along. And I just thank you so much. I feel so blessed. Have a good night. And again, sweet dreams. Signing out. This is Lowry, the Pretty POTSie. Good night.